From 11 Alive, your NBC station, this is 11 Alive News at 11.
The foregone conclusion is now reality. The U.S. House votes to launch an impeachment inquiry of President Clinton. Welcome to 11 Alive News. Hello, everyone. I'm Wes Sargent.
And I'm Brenda Wood. Many Americans say they want the investigation of the president to just go away, but it looks like it's not going anywhere. NBC's Jim Hanchett has more.
Good evening. This was a dismal day for the president on Capitol Hill, but tonight he says he's doing fine. He's going to stick to his job. But this vote puts him a big step closer to losing his job.
The yeas are 258. The nays are 176.
The lopsided House vote to launch the impeachment inquiry sets the stage for dramatic Judiciary Committee hearings next month. Chairman Henry Hyde says the planning begins now.
What evidence we need to acquire, what subpoenas we need to issue, and how fast we can do it.
Democrats wanted to restrict the hearings to only the Lewinsky scandal and set a time limit. They lost after a debate that is a preview of what is to come.
The president betrayed his wife. He did not betray the country. God help this nation if we fail to recognize the difference.
The issue is not whether the president committed adultery or betrayed his wife. The issue is, did the president of the United States commit the felony crime of perjury?
The president says he'll cooperate, and he knows uncertain months are ahead.
It is not in my hands. It is in the hands of Congress and the people of this country. Ultimately, in the hands of God. There is nothing I can do.
The president, the intern, the prosecutor, the chairman. One major vote done in a process just beginning. Now, only 31 Democrats joined the Republicans in authorizing those hearings. That was fewer than the White House feared, and it is the only bright spot on what is a bleak day for the president. That's the story in Washington tonight. I'm Jim Hanchett. Now back to you.
Well, to find two congressmen who are 180 degrees apart on the investigation of the president, you need look no farther than Georgia Republican Bob Barr and Democrat John Lewis. Long before the House took up the matter today, Barr had called for the president's impeachment. Congressman Lewis has been one of the president's staunchest supporters. Today was no exception.
Mr. Speaker, we are sending the American people a clear message that truth is more important than partisanship and that the Constitution cannot be sacrificed on the altar of political expediency.
I have news for you. The American people are watching. Beware the wrath of the American people. Mr. Speaker, beware.
President Clinton is now the third American president to face removal from office through impeachment following Andrew Johnson and Richard Nixon.
Throughout this ordeal, President Clinton's popularity has remained high in the African-American community, but today a group of African-American ministers called the Samaritan Project broke with the president.
We should forgive the president. I do forgive the president. However, forgiveness does not absolve him of accountability and consequences, nor does it answer the question of whether Mr. Clinton should remain in office.
Bishop Jackson says some African-American leaders tried to convince the American people that blacks universally support the president staying in office. He says that simply isn't the case. And if President Clinton doesn't have enough headaches, an Arkansas judge plans to release information obtained by lawyers in the Paula Jones sexual harassment suit. The documents will go public within 2 weeks, but videotapes of witnesses, including the president, will remain sealed. And speaking of Paula Jones, a New York real estate tycoon has offered $1 million to settle her sexual harassment complaint. She's reportedly studying whether she can accept that, along with a $700,000 settlement offer from the president. Stay with 11 Alive News and NBC for the latest on the investigation of the president. Our continuing coverage resumes on 11 Alive News today with Ken Watts and Jill Becker from 5 to 7 a.m. in the morning.
In other news this evening, Gwinnett County police charged a 37-year-old man with the brutal attack of a Lawrenceville couple. Walter Thompson is charged with murder and aggravated battery. Police say Thompson beat 55-year-old Marvin Roper to death and stabbed his wife Donna in the head. She remains in critical condition. The couple was found on Monday, but police now believe they may have been attacked during an attempted robbery as early as last Friday. In Cherokee County, parents say they have had it. They are ready to launch a recall effort to get rid of a school board member that they blame for putting students' futures in jeopardy. 11 Alive's Jennifer Leslie joins us from Cherokee County now, where parents are already taking the next big step. Jennifer?
That's right, Brenda. At a school board meeting tonight, parents passed out these flyers for a recall meeting next week. They are furious about a report by the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools, or SACS, a group that has threatened to put Cherokee County schools on probation because they allege that school board members have intimidated teachers, students, and staff.
And this is how I really feel. Shame on all of them.
They came armed with their worries written boldly, ready to put school board members on the defensive.
We're trying to give them an opportunity to stop embarrassing themselves.
Parents and students fear Cherokee County schools may lose SACS accreditation, putting college applications and scholarships on the line.
I want to go to college and be able to use the Hope Scholarship to go to college in Georgia.
If we're not accredited, then I don't know, we won't have to worry about the Hope Scholarship because there won't be a college that will let her in.
The Graves and other families blame this man, school board member Tim Moxley, who's been at the center of controversy before. He was criticized for taking home staff W-2 forms and trying to oust administrators over lewd rap music played at high school basketball games. Students and parents tried to call for Moxley's resignation, but under meeting rules, they weren't allowed to speak.
Basically, they're gutless wonders that they cannot indulge the public into the truth.
Later, Moxley said he's still supported by a silent majority.
I have not received any letters or negative phone calls, or anybody has asked me to resign.
At least, he says, no one from the district he represents. Now, this report by SACS states one board member berated and threatened members of the special review team that was in town to decide whether Cherokee County schools could keep their accreditation. This report does not name names, so board members have asked SACS for more specifics before taking any action. Brenda?
Jennifer, isn't the recall effort a little premature? I mean, doesn't SACS still have to take a vote on whether to put Cherokee County schools on probation?
Yes, SACS delegates won't vote until December, so until then, board members say they will try to clean up their act. They are determined to do whatever it takes to keep this accreditation.
All right, Jennifer, thank you.
The fight is not over in the race for State Senate Seat 38. If you're keeping score, Gordon Joyner was first declared the Democratic nominee after the August runoff. Then a recount gave Horacina Tate the nod by a vote, but a judge threw out the recount, giving Joyner back his victory. Today, another recount gave Tate the win by one vote again. Joyner plans to ask for yet another count. There is more controversy over Atlanta's effort to let a private company run the water department. Late today, almost 200 water workers went to court trying to get a temporary restraining order against the city. As 11 Alive's Marie Ryan reports, the group wants the privatization process stopped until water employees get more guarantees about their future.
City water employees fill a Fulton County courtroom. They claim Atlanta is divorcing them, and they want a judge to make sure they're treated fairly with their new boss, the private company that will run the city's water operation.
If you're going to transfer them to a private company, then all the rights they have earned as city workers go with them.
Atlanta officials say privatizing the city's water department will save taxpayers $20 million a year. And for 3 years, city workers say they are guaranteed jobs with the private company.
But after 3 years, they're not guaranteed to keep me, so what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to live?
175 water workers are suing the city. As part of that, they asked a judge to stop the privatization process for 30 days. She turned them down, and city attorneys argued that workers are being treated fairly.
That is, they will lose no contractual benefits to which they are entitled.
They will have another day in court, but water workers are getting more and more nervous. The privatization process is moving along, with or without their blessings.
They have kept us out, ill-informed, no information. The time that you get the information, it's too late to do anything about it.
The next act in this water system drama will be played out here at City Hall. Atlanta City Council may take up a vote on this matter as early as next week. They are expected to vote on a contract with a private water company. Wes?
Now, Marie, on the issue of employee benefits, are Atlanta officials saying they will stay the same?
Right. Atlanta officials are saying these benefits stay the same. The water workers strongly disagree with that.
I understand there's a possibility that water workers could be fired under the privatization process, and they really can't be fired very easily with the city. Is that correct?
Right. They have 3-year guarantee that they won't be fired. After that, there is no guarantee. Now, city officials say if they're fired by the private company, they will have first dibs on city jobs, but water workers say that guarantee is not good enough.
All right. Thank you. And now on to the Braves, and the news is not good.
No, indeed, their bats were silent at Turner Field tonight. The Braves lose, and they're down 2 games as they head now to San Diego. We join Fred Khalil at Turner Field with the grim details.
It was not pretty, Brenda and Wes. The Braves just did not look with it tonight. They looked very lethargic. And in the 9th inning, Bobby Cox is probably going to be second guessed for bringing on rookie Odalis Perez, who gave up a first pitch single to Kevin Brown. Brown would later score before Kerry Lightenberg came in and stopped the bleeding. The final score here, 3-0. So the Braves find themselves down 0-2, heading to San Diego tomorrow. And the games 3, 4, and if necessary, 5 will be Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. We're live outside Turner Field. We're going to head inside and get some interviews for you for the sports later on.
We'll come back to you later, of course. Thanks, Fred. Well, it was certainly noticeably cooler today and this evening.
Meteorologist Royal Norman joins us with his first alert forecast. Royal.
Yeah, nice and cool out there. A big change in our weather. The reason for that, a cold front that dropped through here last night has dropped all the way in through south central portions of our state into the Carolinas as well. That's where it's raining tonight, but behind that, we're getting some cool and drier air in from the northwest. Looks like it's going to stick for a while, too. We're at 57 degrees, 59 at Athens, 66 at Macon. On the other side of that frontal system, check it out. Still 81 degrees at Brunswick, 24 degrees warmer than we are. Gives you a pretty good idea where that cold front is. So for the rest of tonight in Atlanta, a few clouds around. We're going down to 52 degrees, colder in some of the outlying areas. Then for tomorrow, mostly sunny, a bit warmer with a high of 73 degrees. So is this great weather going to last for the weekend? We'll tell you about it in just a couple of minutes.
All right, thanks, Royal. We're just getting started here on 11 Alive News tonight. Use the Force. Darth Vader and friends invade Centennial Park.
Also ahead, the news isn't good when you talk about the air quality in and around Atlanta.
And a new development in the investigation of the U.S. Embassy bombings in Africa. That's next on 11 Alive News at 11. In New York, 3 of the 4 suspects linked to the U.S. Embassy bombings in Kenya and Tanzania were arraigned on a new federal indictment today.
224 of the counts against them are murder charges. That story tops news from around the world tonight. The bombings in Kenya and Tanzania on August 7th killed 258 people, including 12 Americans. The suspects today pled not guilty to the attack. The indictment accuses them of being part of a worldwide terrorist organization led by Osama bin Laden. The 4th suspect named in the indictment is still a fugitive.
Secretary of State Madeleine Albright says NATO is ready to authorize airstrikes against the Serbs. It will be punishment in full force for their military actions in Kosovo. As a safety measure, about 20 carloads of U.S., British, and Australian embassy staffers headed out of Belgrade, Yugoslavia today. That's despite U.S. mediator Richard Holbrooke returning there for still more talks with Yugoslav President Slobodan Milosevic.
For the first time in 8 years, AIDS is no longer among the top 10 causes of death in the United States. In fact, AIDS has dropped to the number 14 spot on the government's annual list. Heart disease is the number 1 killer. Cancer is number 2.
Well, on the subject of cancer, our colleague in this business, WSB's Monica Kaufman, is facing cancer surgery tomorrow. Monica has been diagnosed with breast cancer. Fortunately, because of her diligence in getting annual mammograms, her cancer was detected early and her prognosis is excellent. In talking with her this afternoon, she told me she is ready to fight. Though Monica is a competitor, she's also a friend, and we here at 11 Alive wish her all the best as she recovers.
A 911 dispatcher in Florida was picking up more than his phone. He was apparently picking up callers, too. What tipped investigators off was a call Steve Toncheff made to Joanne Wynn, who had called him earlier to report a burglary.
Hi, this is Steve.
Hi.
How are you?
Just fine. How are you?
What time are you going to sleep?
Late probably.
Okay, because I get a break in about an hour or so. Mind if I call you?
No, not at all.
Okay. I'll give you a call back in about an hour.
Okay, great.
It was later learned that Toncheff had used sheriff's equipment to record information about women who had called in to report emergencies.
Well, here's a puzzler. There was a world record flight in the Georgia Dome today. Okay, it was a paper airplane, but aeronautical engineer Ken Blackburn managed to keep it aloft for 27.6 seconds. That achievement will now be sent to the Guinness Book of World Records. One reason Blackburn chose the Georgia Dome is that the bid for the record had to be attempted indoors in a large space. So hence the Georgia Dome. Good for him.
Do you know that I'm absolutely perfect at forecasting weather inside the dome?
Are you really?
I have never missed.
You go out on a limb on that, don't you?
Hey, here's that neat necklace that I got for Wes at the ball game, but I was wondering, since they lost tonight, should we just, like, toss it?
No.
Or do you want it? It was $2 I spent on the thing.
Might not be good luck. I don't know.
A couple of pennies on there. I don't know. I brought it for you anyway. I just wanted to follow through with that because I'm a fella who follows through with things like that, Wes. Let's check out the weather tonight. A few clouds out there, and it really is. Wes is looking at it like, yeah, I can't believe he brought me this. This isn't even worth anything. 57 degrees at the airport, 77% the humidity, the wind out of the northwest at 10. The barometric pressure is steady, 30.06 inches. 69 was our high today. Look at all the traffic pouring out of Turner Field, by the way. 62 the morning low, normal 75 and 55 degrees. Well, big cold front stretches all the way from New England down through southern portions of our state. A lot of rain out ahead of it, some nasty cool weather throughout New England, but this is all being pushed out of here by some cool, dry air that looks like it's going to be around here for the next couple of days or so. And essentially what's going to happen is our weather is going to be controlled by high pressure and will get warmer and warmer each day, but the cool air will continue to pump on down from Canada on a northwesterly flow. You can see tonight all the clouds are in the southern third of our state, extend over to the coastal areas of the Carolinas, where they've had some thunderstorms the past couple of hours, but things have really died down. Developing area of low pressure may shoot a few clouds back our way tomorrow morning, but we don't think we'll see any rain out of it. As a matter of fact, that low should move off pretty darn quickly, so that we'll continue with the generally clear to partly cloudy skies through the nighttime hours, and then tomorrow get a bunch of sunshine and continue to see the warm up, at least warmer than we were today. Currently, boy, you can see where that frontal system is. See where all the temperature bands are sort of tightly packed? Well, that's where the frontal system is. We're at 57, 55 at Huntsville, 59 at Memphis. On the other side of that, 75 at Savannah, 78 at Orlando, and 78 at Tampa. They are going to see some of those chilly temperatures over the next couple of days or so. This is how the weather moves over the next couple of days. The frontal system goes stationary, moves very, very slowly in the northern portions of Florida. We get a lot of sunshine tomorrow, but that northwesterly flow continues, so it stays unseasonably cool. As we head towards Saturday, more of the same will be just a little bit warmer. The heavy showers and thunderstorms will be across central sections of Florida. Let's check out our forecast for the rest of the nighttime hours. Partly cloudy, rather chilly with a low of about 52 degrees. Then for tomorrow, mostly sunny and warmer with a high of 73. Sunny on Saturday, a high 76. The extended forecast, no rain in the forecast until Tuesday.
Oh, look at, he's so depressed. He can't break out of the Braves lost.
Hold this in front of Kevin Brown and say, you can no longer pitch against the Braves. You can't beat them.
That'll do it.
Something's got to work.
It could work.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Still to come, DeKalb County has reason to brag, and it wants everyone to know why.
And next on 11 Alive News, a health warning for anyone wearing a pacemaker. There's a warning tonight to people with pacemakers from the Food and Drug Administration. The FDA says occasionally metal detectors can interfere with pacemaker function. It also warns against similar reactions to surveillance systems that sound alarms in stores and libraries. Problems have only happened 44 times in a decade, but the FDA is working with manufacturers to make the device more compatible. You know those highway signs that warn you about ozone alerts? Apparently not enough people have paid attention. An anti-pollution alliance says Georgia violated clean air standards 275 times between April and September, and some of the results may surprise you. Conyers had the greatest number of ozone violations with 37. Douglasville was next with 34, followed by Atlanta with 33, and Fayetteville with 32. The alliance says that's probably conservative because figures were missing for some days.
Well, it's a sign of the times as new signs popped up all over DeKalb County today. A ceremony this morning unveiled dozens of signs that proclaimed DeKalb an all-American city. The county actually won the designation back in the spring. Today's ceremony was held appropriately enough in front of the YMCA Child Development Center. That state-of-the-art child care facility is one of the main reasons DeKalb won the honor. Well, if you went by Centennial Park around noon today in Atlanta, you probably thought Atlanta is being invaded by aliens. Actually, you would have been right, sort of. All kinds of otherworldly creatures gathered there for a chance at a free trip to London. British Airways gave away 50 sets of tickets among the 94 aliens who showed up. But they'll have to travel by British Air, not by spaceship.
Start working on your stick.
Some interesting get-ups there.
I thought those were just normal people.
Oh, really?
No, yeah.
What planet are you from? Coming up in sports next, it's Thursday night, and that means,
that means
separated at birth.
Yeah, and that also means the Braves go to San Diego down by 2, and Fred will have it all in a moment. A couple of times this year we've seen the Braves go into a free fall, but if they do it now, it's over, right, Fred?
Well, you know what? It does not look good. They are down 0-2 heading to San Diego. On the road tomorrow, then games 3, 4, and if necessary, 5 over the weekend in San Diego. Tonight it's 3-0 as Kevin Brown with a 3-hit complete game shutout. Pick up the action now with Tom Glavine. And Glav really did not pitch badly. He did have 6 walks, but he also threw 6 innings, gave up 6 hits, and just 1 run. In the 6th inning, though, Kilio Veras with the RBI single here. It's going to score Gomez. Kevin Brown will be thrown out at third base. But Kevin Brown was the man of the night, once again, killing the Braves in the postseason. He's thrown out at third base, but 11 strikeouts tonight. In the 9th, Bobby Cox is going to be second guest for going with Odalis Perez, the rookie reliever. And right here, a run is going to score. Kevin Brown led off with a single, scores when Odalis fails to cover first base. It's 2-0. Brown gets Klesko to end it. The final score, 3-zip. San Diego wins, lead the series 2-0. Andres Galarraga, 0 for the NLCS, had this to say.
Yeah, kind of wondering, I've been hitting any hit yet. And anyway, I feel positive with this team. We're going over there now. Miles pitching next game. So probably we turn around on the road. Probably we play better there and try to do the best. I know we lose the first 2 games here at home. It's kind of tough, so we still got a chance.
Well, because of a football game that's being played tomorrow night at San Diego's Qualcomm Stadium, the Braves will not work out. Instead, they will leave mid-afternoon for San Diego and then go ahead and get after it on Saturday afternoon against the Padres. Now, over in the American League, Game 3 of the ALCS right here on NBC and 11 Alive tomorrow night at 8. Today at Jacobs Field. Both teams getting a workout in. The Indians and Yankees tied at 1-1. Let's hear from the managers.
You know, we feel good about our ball club. We felt good about our ball club, you know, before the series started and even after game 1. And we know we still have a very tough road to hoe. The Yankees are a very good ball club. Like I said before, you don't win 114 games in regular season by being lucky.
When a club has been to the World Series 2 out of 3 years and has been in postseason as many times as Cleveland, you never take anybody for granted.
And again, Game 3 tomorrow night right here on 11 Alive. Now let's talk about Falcons football. They play Sunday night in the Meadowlands against the New York Giants. And, you know, Chris Chandler saying that this game is as important as the 49ers game. Certainly that's because this will be the first team since the 49ers that the Falcons have played that have a victory. All right, now let's talk about Ozzie Smith. He will be on Spotlight on Sports this Sunday night at 11:35. We hope you can join us from the official All-Star Cafe. Ozzie stopped by to tape the show today. Finally, time for our weekly sports celebrity lookalikes. We call separated at birth. Melissa Holcomb sends us this email. We've got Yanni and Kyle Petty. So there you have it. That came on our email. You can hit us at 11alive.com. We're live at Turner Field. The Braves down 0-2, heading to San Diego, Brendan West.
All right, not a good way to go out west. All right. Hey, by the way, that was pretty good separated berth there. Got to agree with you on that one.
First time, first time
what's
ever.
What's going on with you?
It was the first time for everything.
Yeah, right. We're not done with you yet. Hold on to that microphone.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, Fred.
Thanks, Fred.
Wake-up weather coming up.